APP fraud refers to authorized push payment fraud. So that's basically when a scammer tricks a person into making a payment that they that they don't receive in the end. So, for example, you want to see Taylor Swift and you see tickets on, say, Instagram, and then you pay a person directly for it, but then you never end up at Wembley because the tickets never existed. It was too good to be true. And that's impacting millions of people across the UK.
So what do banks currently do for people who find themselves in that situation?
That's a great question. So right now, legally, they're not obliged to do anything. They don't need to pay you back. But some of the largest banks did sign up to a code, and so voluntarily they are refunding some of these victims.
So what changes then in October? What will happen to people after that?
So it's become too much. It's become too much of an issue. A lot of victims and consumers have been complaining about this issue. So now every single payment firm, from your big banks to your fintechs, will be legally obliged to pay victims back. But the liability will be split 50-50 between both the sending and the receiving bank.
Okay. Why is the industry unhappy about this? What's their position on these new rules?
Look, it's taken years of consultation between the regulator, which is a payment systems regulator, and the industry. But the industry feels as though it's not going to get to the heart of the issue, which is stopping fraud, because the focus has been on reimbursement. They also believe that the reimbursement ceiling is way too high. It's set at £415,000, which means that there'll be massive losses. They believe that it doesn't tackle the issue around gross negligence, and they feel as though it might take away some moral hazard, and they believe that the onus is being placed on them and not involving big tech or telcos, and they think it's unfair.
Okay, why this warning now that they say they won't be ready?
So, to be fair, throughout this year, and this is a story I've been following for several months now, the industry trade bodies have sent letters to the regulator, has sent letters to the Treasury, and they believe that this is the 11th hour and they just haven't been heard.
What has the regulator said about all this?
They're pressing ahead. They said the firms have got to be ready by the 7th of October, even if the system isn't completely oven ready. But they say that they have enough to be able to communicate with one another and to settle these disputes.